Being shy is a state of mind brought on by your environment and how you're raised, and your nature, and how your environment and your parents nurtured you. So I completely disagree with the assessment in the news that I read today. Um, the article was in Live Science by Stephanie Papas, and it was talking about research that science did, and it was in the Journal of Pediatrics, and they're trying to cover the overlap between being shy and a social phobia, which they wanted to classify as a mental disorder. And they start talking about how they're more likely to develop further mental disorders in life, etc. You know, my argument has always been that mental disorders, almost all of them, as described by as described by most psychiatrists, either don't exist or they are being misinterpreted, or furthermore, the pills that they give you don't solve anything. So it goes on to say that 62.4% of parents say their teens are shy. Okay, and it goes on to say that so you can see that this is something that society has an it's an ill of society that's being blamed on the younger generations, being blamed on the children, and then as they grow up and they become adults, um, it's really how they grew up, and it's very little to do with a mental disorder in their mind, and a lot more to do with how society is made and presents itself, and the policy of the policymakers being carried out and how it's carried out, and being uncomfortable in certain settings and things like that. Okay? For example, if I put you in a room full of a bunch of people that were chopped up, and I said, how does this make you feel? And, if it bothered you, and I marked that down, and I say, okay, 80% of people, when they step into this room, are bothered. So 80% of people have some kind of disorder where they're bothered by chopped up people, you know? So now it goes to the reality. The reality is presented to us because of the world that's made, because of the government, and because of the different things that make up the world, the different criminal elements and the different social elements that make up the world. Some people are uncomfortable in some situations. Now, how these people have chopped it up to being a mental disorder and called it a social phobia, I would call it society not doing what it's supposed to and causing, emotional and mental damage, abuse to the person who has to undergo that. It's like stepping into a haunted house. Yeah, you're likely to act different and to see physical changes, okay? Because you're in this different setting. When you're in a setting around people, okay, in a society that has made you not feel comfortable with who you are. It's constantly trying to make you be somebody else. All these images on TV, be thinner, be more beautiful, wear this, do this way, be normal, be cool. And you start thinking, okay, I'm not normal, I'm not cool, I'm not doing this that way. I'm weird because of this, because I'm black, because I'm Indian, because I'm a Jew, because I'm Hindu, etc., etc. It's society not accepting you, society being wicked, and the devil making it this way, and you enter it. Just like that chopped up bodies all around you in a room, just like the haunted house, you're disturbed and you start acting differently. Is it a mental disorder in you? Or is it a mental disorder in the people who control society, who have made it this certain way that makes you uncomfortable around your peers? I say this because I once was shy, and I had to snap out of it, and I snapped out of it because it was a state of mind. It was when I decided to start taking on this idea as a society and stop accepting what they think and start finding the truth, and stop accepting the popular perception and start finding the truth, that is when I stopped being shy. And so to me, it was very obviously a state of consciousness, and it was very serious to me. You would just like they described it in the article and in the Journal of Pediatrics, that's how you would describe it with me. That this guy has this problem, this social phobia. But really, it was just society is wicked, and they made me uncomfortable. They made me feel uncomfortable for who I am, even though I was a perfectly good person, and still am. So, again, I would argue that psychiatry is a joke, it's a farce, it's a lie. And mental disorders, some of which exist, are not being treated properly. And many of them simply have to do with changing your environment, changing what you eat, changing your habits, even changing your career, changing what school you go to. Sometimes it's just something as simple as that. And this so-called mental disorder that you have just magically goes away without medication.